Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am Ashley. I'm a homeschooling mom with 8 kiddos, homeschooling roughly 6 of them, more like 5, but roughly 6, for this upcoming school year 2023 to 2024. I wanted to kind of go over some things that we have changed, or I have kind of changed for this school year, and some things that I have intentionally wanted to change, or intentionally wanted to add, or take away in this upcoming school year. So first, I wanted to kind of go over how our days are going to go, and how I really had to think about what having a high schooler, how that's going to change things. So that was kind of my main motivation. I had to make sure that he would be doing what he needed to be doing each day, because especially with the curriculum that we're using for BJU Press and really for language arts, I need to make sure that he is staying on track. And if he doubles up on some lessons, great. If not, I want to make sure that he stays on track. So we are doing a 5-day a week school days, or schooling 5 days a week. But it was very important to me to try and make sure that we don't have any extras during the school day. Now, with that being said, certain events or certain maybe field trips or something like that, I need to be able to adjust the schedules for that. I need to be able to accommodate for those things. And so I have to make sure, and it is imperative for this year, that I make sure that we allot that time and that I plan ahead for that time. So because it's not elementary, it's not middle school. I mean, yes, I'm doing those as well, and homeschooling those ages as well. But the high school level, I need to make sure that he stays on track. And so I need to make sure that we are here and we are diligent about finishing our school day, especially him. Now, he is real good about going ahead if he can, and doubling his lessons. He's done that in the past, and where he's finished early, and that's great. I just want to make sure he at least gets the daily stuff done that he needs to get done. So appointments, things like that, scheduling appointments in the afternoon, if early afternoon, if I can, because we start extracurricular stuff like mid-afternoon, and leaving for that because we don't live super close. So making sure that at least by lunch he is mostly done. If not, then early afternoon. And if that means waking up a little bit earlier and getting started, then that's what we're going to have to do, because typically, at least in the past, we have gotten up. I just let them sleep in, and that's fine. But that extra hour, even waking up at 8 instead of 9, or waking up at 7:30 instead of 8:30, that extra hour is like an entire subject, or maybe even 2. So I need to make sure that I schedule appointments in the early afternoon and make sure that we have that morning free. And if we do something in the morning, I need it to be able to come back and have enough time to come back so that he can finish. And if not, I need him to be able to do, double up on lessons or double up on something so that we get ahead. And I'm specifically talking about him because my other kids can do things in the car. They can do things, their lessons aren't as long, but his are primarily online. And so watching the videos and things like that, I need him to be able to finish because it's imperative that we finish. Secondly, going into that is, like I've said, like kind of leading into that is maybe getting up a little bit earlier. So, like I've said before, I don't make my kids get up at the crack of dawn. That is the beauty of homeschooling. And my kids are not early risers, they are sleepers. And so I've never had kids waking up at like 6 a.m. or before the sun, by choice. That just doesn't happen at our house. And so this year I'm thinking we kind of set a time where they have to get up. And at least maybe my older two. Not so much my middle to younger elementary, because that's easier. I can work around that. But getting the older two started and getting their stuff done, specifically my high schooler, just at least 30 minutes to an hour earlier, I think it'll make a huge difference. And even then, getting up, and then I can do things. If I need to do laundry, if I need to do whatever, I am getting up and I am moving and getting started earlier on my day. And so whether or not I edit videos or whatever I do during that time, but making sure that they are up and ready to go and starting. Another thing, kind of change that I did, I have joined a group in my area that does a lot of field trip things and events. There is one a little bit further from us that I think I joined maybe right when we started homeschooling, and I just never found the time to meet and meet up and do all the meetups and do all the things like that. But I think as my oldest is getting older, I want him to be able to, do things and be involved in more things. And that's kind of crazy to say, because he does two things and he has extracurriculars every single day by choice. So adding more, but he's always wanting to add more. As long as it doesn't interfere with him finishing his schoolwork, I'm fine with that. So whether that's meetups, like teen meetups, or this is a Christian-based group, but it's in our area, so it's not like a super far drive. Different events or different field trips that they go on, and you can do field trips obviously on your own, but sometimes having somebody else facilitate that and actually get it going really kind of helps. And so just different events. And they also have graduation when the time comes, prom when the time comes, maybe different dances for different age groups, or preteens and teens, or just maybe different holiday parties, or Christmas parties, Easter parties, whatever the case may be. Something to kind of be a part of that I haven't done before, but I want my older kids to, especially because I can drop them off places and things like that, whereas I wouldn't do that with my younger kids. But them just being actively involved in things other than their extracurriculars, which again would be totally up to them, but I want to leave that open. And finally, I feel like last year and previous years, I have been very, I don't want to say like not strict. That's not the word. I've been very just loose with scheduling and with making sure that everything is done, and very diligent about it, regardless of their age group. I want to be very matter of fact and very diligent about them finishing their stuff, and making sure that every day I don't get lazy about it, that they don't get lazy about it, that they finish what they're supposed to do, and me just being on top of it and making sure that they are finishing. I want to be able to hold them accountable for things. I want to be able to check those boxes and make sure that they finish everything that they're supposed to finish. So basically being a little bit stricter, but more so for myself, because I feel like sometimes I fall off back burner and I get a little bit lazy with stuff, And just because I have so much going on, I'm like, okay, we'll finish that later. We'll finish that tomorrow, whatever. No, I want to finish that today. I need to finish that today. That is what is going to happen. Self-discipline. I want to have a little bit more self-discipline with them finishing and, again, checking off those boxes and making sure that everybody has done what they need to do, making sure that everybody is kind of on track with their milestones and with recognizing where they're lacking in certain areas and focusing on that with each child. I need to do a little bit better job of that. So those are kind of the things that I am changing. For example, last year I was pet sitting some, and well, actually a lot. I would do it at least 2 to 3 days a week. And I stopped doing that right before delivery, maybe like a month or so before delivery. And it's just one of those things where like my homeschooling has got to be top priority. So I have to be able to make sure that I am here and there, a whole day isn't wasted because I'm off, doing something. The kids are, with my mom or whatever. I need to make sure that that homeschooling is my top priority, especially with my high schooler, because here we are. we're not at the finish line. We're not at a finish line. I'm not saying that. We are at the beginning of the harder years and the stricter years, and making sure that we have done everything we need to do for him. So those are just some changes and just some thoughts that I had for this upcoming school year. We will be starting at the end of August. So in a couple weeks, we will be starting because with delivery and everything like that. And that's just how it's going to be. So I'm totally fine with that. We're still in August, and I will have everything situated by then. So I will let you know how our first day goes and my expectations, and if they are anything like my expectations, which they probably won't be, but fingers crossed, we're hoping for a good day. And it might be a situation where I just kind of, obviously the first day is a lot lighter, but just kind of easing into it. And maybe we just kind of, for my high schooler, maybe we just kind of get used to the online aspect of everything and the learning, and see how we do with that first before we go full in. I usually, the first day is very laid back. And so I still kind of plan to do that as well. But anyway, let me know, guys, if you have any questions on anything that I touched on in this video, and I will let you know how our first day went. All right, take care, guys. We'll see you next time.